Okay, all right. Morning, everyone. Welcome back to our morning kappa at 8. Joseph here. So, looking at the Hang Seng Index, the index have a very strong positive price actions last Friday. It jumped above 26,000 point and right now challenging the 26,500 point resistance. So last Friday, the sentiment was buoyed by the Baidu, right? Stock code 9888, all right, or the BIDU at the US Nasdaq, right? That they are um, contemplating to split their business AI, right? Uh, individually, that have actually boost the sentiment on Baidu share price, and Baidu as a component of the Hang Seng Index have lift the index higher. So right now the index still show a bullish setup with stop loss point unchanged at 25,000 point level, right? And as of this morning, we'll be looking at the two uh, Hong Kong stocks. Firstly, the this Harbin Electric, and also secondly the GDS. All right. So you can actually refer to our report after we have published, right, at our research portal, right. Both the GDS and also the Harbin Electric. Both counter have a stage bullish breakout, and I do think that the momentum should follow through today, right? Especially GDS, which they are specialized in the servers. I think that will actually boost the sentiment on the this counter. Okay, and over the weekend, I think everyone have learned that the Trump have actually captured the Venezuela president. I think that the issue have more or less settled, and the I think one thing is that the market observers think that the oil supply remains steady, right? And yesterday the OPEC have a meeting, right? And the conclusion is that they're going to keep the output steady, right? And that's some other things that happen among their members. And another thing that I think this week that we should really pay attention to, which is one of the big oil producer country, which is Iran, right? Right now, the country is facing a very severe protests from the business community, right? And according to the this Cloudflare, right, which is the U.S. cybersecurity company, right, it mentioned that since the 1st of Jan last week, right, the internet traffic volume in Iran have actually dropped by 35%, right? So this is actually a very important message that I captured from the news portal, right? I think that actually shows that in the Iran, right, something is actually happening over there, and we should monitor this development closely. And also, the Iran foreign minister have mentioned that Trump may intervene, right? If civilians was killed in these protests, right? And let's see whether this uh, uh, Iran domestic issues will actually get out of control, right? So that's actually things that we'll be monitoring this week on the Iran's latest development that could actually affect the sentiment on the Middle East, and also sentiment on the oil price as well. Okay, and as for the US market, right, equities market remains steady so far. And last week we do see that the S&P 500 have actually rebound strongly. And today I'll be looking at two US counter. Firstly, applied material. Now, the applied material peers, which is the Lam Research, have actually break a new high. If you look at the stocks last Friday, right? So I think that applied material will follow suit as well. And as we can see that last Friday, applied material AMAT have managed to stage a breakout, right? Right now it's trading above 265 US dollar. Next R1 is 280, and followed by 320. And then on, secondly, I'm looking also at another GE company. Now, basically, GE, General Electrics, they have a break into two companies. One is actually doing the GE Aerospace, that's actually doing the aircraft engines. The other one will be GE Vernova, which is actually doing automations, robotics stuff. So right now, after the gap up last month, and GE Vernova have actually underwent consolidations, and last Friday it also break past the resistance again. So look at the price volume, this profile. I can see that the volume basically centered below the 665. So this 635 will act as a very important support for GE Vernova. So you look at the US market, of course, share price looks very expensive, 650, three digits. But just a reminder that in US, you no need to buy one lot, 100 shares. You can actually buy one shares, which is 650 US dollar per shares. Okay, and so we are looking at upside somewhere at 720, and followed by high resistance at 780. Okay, so AMAT and GE Vernova. And then on, let's move back our attention to Malaysia market, and you can see that for the past several weeks, right, the FPM KLCI has been actually moving upwards. So looking at the medium term and long term, right, I'll be using a weekly chart, and also using a 20-week and also a 50-week moving average. So as long as the index stay above this 20-week, right, generally the momentum will be strong. So right now you can see that the last Friday, first day of the 2026, though we close in red, right, but overall our index still remains bullish from my technical reading so far. I think as long as the FBM KLCI stay above 1550, right, general sentiment should remain bullish for the FBM KLCI, right, and last Friday, market basically supported by REIT, property, and transportations, and we saw some rotations, selling pressure on the plantation, healthcare, and also the industrial. Now, as for the FKLI, right, consolidations remains in play, right, but I think the FBMKL, the FKLI, right, technical setup suggests that the index may resume the upside movement towards 1700 and 1730. So the downside support is 1630, which is our stop loss point for the FKLI. And so far, we still hold our long positions on the FKLI that we have initiated many months ago. As for the FCPO, right, I'll continue to hold the short positions, and right now we keep our bearish trading bias unchanged. Now, despite that last week, the FCPO managed to stage some counter-trend rebound. Sentiment have become negative again, right after the market surveyor, the export surveyor shows that the export number remains weak for December. Now, despite that, December month productions actually came down, but the export number remains weak so far. And right now, the FCPO also have a high inventory, right? Although the Indonesia is coming out the B50 policy in this year, 2026 mid-year, right? However, market is still concerned on the high inventory, and also the competitive commodity oil, which is a soybean oil, right now also heading lower low right now. So that's all add up that sentiment have shifted on the Thursday, right? And Thursday and Friday, we do see that FCPO resume on their downward movement. So right now, we still keep our short position unchanged, and our stop loss is our 4180 on the FCPO. And coming the FCPO, I think the next one will be on the 10th of the month, which is the full picture of the December import. Sorry, full picture of December productions and export number. Okay, and as for the some of the stock I just want to seek your attention is that I think most of you are retail investors, and then I do a bit of a summary on the 2025 overall market. I think as retail investors, is actually we understand, or I just found out that most retail investor they have actually invested heavily on this counter called Nation Gate, right? And so far the you see in the 2025, right, Nation Gate has been in a uh, uh, two picture, right? First half it was moving up, and then on the second half it was coming down. So on this stocks that's actually coming down, right? I just want to remind everyone that when we look at the market, right? When a stock is actually going under corrections, especially if it falls below the 20 days, 50 days, or stay below the 200 days moving average, right? As long as it shows a downtrend, also breaking the support, right? We just have to lower down our positions. So you can see that on the way down, right, Nation Gate have break several support, right, such as all this volume profile have shows that it is actually moving down, and then on the rebound, right, it can't actually clear all the resistance over here. So you can also develop another strategy just by using a 20 days moving average, and also another one 50 days. You can see that this Nation Gate has been trading below the 50 days steadily. And if your entry and exit signal based on 20 days, your positions will not grow big, right? Your trading will be small, and even though you are making losses, your losses will be small, and you will not stuck in a downtrend stock. So one thing, number one, indicator important. Number two, portfolio management also very equally important. Yeah. So in a downtrend stock, you can trade for rebound, but limit to small positions. Now, the other counters that I want to show is actually press metal. And from the statistics shows that retail investors have really missed out on this press metal. I think for the last 1 year, for the retail investor that I've interact with, mostly asking me any stock between 50 cents, or any stock below 50 cents, or any stock below 1 ringgit, right? And so I think that to make money is to look for uptrend stock, and when the stock have fundamentally strong, number one, and also technically strong, right? Fundamentally strong doesn't mean the stock will move up. It must be technical strong, that they have a buying power, no selling pressure, then the shares will move on a higher high. Even though stock fundamentally may not be that great, but as long as the buying power is strong, it will actually move on a higher high basis. So look at the press metal, it has been actually moving up, and somewhere between of the year, there was a consolidations below the 20 days moving average. It crossed above, ding dong, and it just moved on a higher high fashions. So as long as the stock cross above the 20 days, I'll add my position. It crossed about the 50, I'll add again. It crossed the 200 days, I'll add again. So in terms of press metal as of today, right, logically speaking, I will have a three position, which is premise on 20 days, 50 days, and 200 days moving average. So press metal is technically strong, and in terms of portfolio management, I think I'll put more into a press metal comparing with this downtrend like Nation Gate. Okay, right, and I think another counter that retail investor also missed out from my study is actually Valesto. Now, despite that, most investors are looking for stocks that are below 50 cents, but I can see that the oil and gas sectors actually are quite low activities. Now, one thing that I also want to admit that I myself also missed out the Valesto this counter over the years, and I look back, Valesto was one of the best performing stocks that are below 50 cents. Now, one key things that have changed tremendously on Valesto is actually towards the Q3 of the year, right? They actually throwing the idea to the market that they actually are going to dish out more dividend this year, 2026. So smart money have been accumulating this counter since last year, Q3, Q4, and then that's where this year, 2026, we have a first news that Valesto is disposing some of their assets. And after the disposal, they are going to use the proceeds to declare as a special dividends for 2026. So cumulatively, the 2026 right now, the dividend yield for Valesto at this price level, I think it's close to almost 8 or 10% dividend yield, right, at 30 at this level. So imagine that you bought Valesto at a much lower level, your dividend yield which will be much higher. Now, all this actually show us one thing is that the smart money, apart from looking for counter, they have strong growth. They're also looking for counters that are actually generating cash flow, counters that can actually pay out strong dividends. So I think this year in 2026, since interest rate is actually moving downwards, we should also pay attention to the company that also strong cash flow that may have actually potential to give more dividends in 2026. Okay, so I thinking coming to a Veresto actually remind me about one counter called Leong Hub, which their cash flow is strong and the dividend are steady, right? And so far the technical remains bullish so far, and you can see the Leong Hub right now is trading above 20, 50, and also 200 days moving average. Now another signal that we can overlay, which is the price volume actions, price volume profile from TradingView, right? No charge. You can actually see that the volume are all centered around 50 cents, right? Shows that the stocks are strong in terms of technical. So a breakout of 75 cents should open door towards 78 cents and then on 80 cents. I think right now in terms of research, one of the highest upside stocks is actually Leong Hub. If not mistaken, they are at least 30% upside at this price level. So do download our report by Wei Xiang and also understand the company. And last but not least, I overlay some of the technical indicators on this counter. Now, the other big cap counter I just want to mention before I forget is SDG, which we do see that it could move up to 7 ringgit. And again, this is actually a counter that price is actually big, right? 7 ringgit, right? But the idea is to make money, right? You can actually consult our broker dealers, right? How to actually have a bit of leverage, right, on this kind of big cap stocks, or how do we trade on this big cap counter. Now, the other counter that I think that I get a lot of questions over the week is pertaining to Gamuda that I just want to study the technical together with everyone today, right? You look at the Gamuda, right? Overlay the price volume profile. One of the key resistance is actually somewhere around 520, right? A higher resistance would be a 555, right? So this is the two level that I'll be looking at. So in the event that Gamuda managed to punch through this 520, technical will improve and sentiment will become much better. So right now, Gamuda is undergoing consolidations. I think on the downside, support will be somewhere at this 200 days moving average, and also the next one will be 470 and 440. Right, so no doubt, Gamuda is undergoing corrections right now. So again, when you trade, remember to look at the indicator, and also don't forget about your portfolio management afterwards. Adam is going to speak a bit more on the construction sector update. All right, then on we have two trading stock this morning by Iman. Firstly, Dialogue Group, which break past resistance 1 ringgit and 70 cents. Next R1 will be 1 ringgit 80 cents, and followed by 1 ringgit and 90 cents. Downside support is 1 ringgit and 60 cents. Secondly, we have IJM Corp, which break past 2 ringgit and 30 cents, and R1 is 240, and followed by R2 250. Downside support is 2 ringgit and 20 cents. So we have two breakout stock. Firstly, Dialogue, and followed by IJM. Stop here and pass the stage to Adam. Thank you.
Okay, good morning everyone. So today we have a sector update on the construction sector. Let me just share my slide, my screen. Okay, so today's report is just to tell about how the flows of contracts have been for 2025. So last year, if you see overall total value of contracts awarded was at 203 billion ringgit in 2025, which is just a drop from 2024's 232 billion ringgit. This is not really much of a concern given that 2024 was already a high base, and this is the highest ever since 2026 2016, which was a record high of 241 billion ringgit worth of contracts awarded that year. So if you were to split a bit between government and private contracts, you can see that uh, you know um, uh, private contracts drop slightly lower, as compared to what we see in what we saw for government contracts. But I think one point that I'd like to share is if we will look further into the subcategories, which is for non-residential projects, it actually rose by about 9% from 150 to 160 billion ringgit from 151 billion ringgit in the year before. And we attribute this likely to be due to the data center job flows that we saw throughout the year. And moving forward, we continue to view that data center projects would continue to come into Malaysia. For example, Microsoft has established its Southeast Asia region number 3 in Johor, and we view that this comes after Microsoft has completed, 370 acres total of land purchases in the past 2 years ago. So now it's time for them to execute the data center projects in Johor. Not to forget, Pearl Computing Malaysia has the 389 acre land in Port Dickson, Negeri Sembilan, which we think they would execute sometime maybe in the second half of this year. Infrastructure projects, well, was lower by about 40% plus down at 24.8 billion in last year compared to 44.5 billion in the year before. Um, Last year, we only saw major contracts pertaining to Penang LRT and some contracts related to Phase 1B of and Borneo Highway Sabah. But moving into this year, we think that there's going to be a lot more infra jobs, particularly coming from the systems package and also segment 2 of Penang LRT. Not to forget, there's the Perak Penang Water Transfer Project, the Johor Bahru Elevated Autonomous Rapid Transit, and also the ECRL extension to Port Klang. So all in, we maintain our overweight stance on the sector. Top picks include Gamuda, Sunny Construction, and Kejaya Prospect. So that's all from me, everyone, for today. We will see you tomorrow at the same time, same place at RHB Morning Kappa at 8. Have a good trading day, and bye-bye.